Okay, so like everyone else out there, I am just fascinated by all this AI stuff and how
Yeah.
fast it's all changing.
Yeah.
And one of the projects that really caught my eye is this open source project on GitHub
Oh, yeah.
called Evo.Ninja. Have you seen this one?
Yeah, I've seen it. It's pretty interesting.
They're calling it a generalist agent, which to me sounds like a whole team of like AI experts
Oh, yeah.
all rolled into one.
Well, that's kind of the idea. It's not limited to just doing one specific task.
Right.
It's really designed to be adaptable, like almost like having a team of specialists,
Sure.
ready to go.
So it's like having a built-in dream team of AI assistants. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is.
But how does it actually work? I mean, the idea of AI switching roles based on the task, this seems
Mhm.
kind of like something out of a sci-fi movie, you know?
Well, that's where the whole persona concept comes in.
Okay.
Evo.Ninja has these predefined agent personas,
Hmm.
each one trained to excel in a specific area.
Hmm.
So it's like you have this specialized toolbox, but instead of having, hammers and screwdrivers, you've got these AI experts ready to tackle different problems.
Okay, I'm intrigued. So what kind of AI specialists are we talking about here?
Well, one of the key personas is the synthesizer.
Okay.
So, if you are drowning in documents, research papers, or just massive amounts of text, this is your go-to. It can analyze, summarize, even generate reports.
Oh, wow.
Saves you tons of time and effort.
That sounds incredibly useful for anyone who deals with information overload. I mean, that's
Right.
pretty much everyone these days.
Yeah, it is.
What else is in this AI toolbox?
Well, next up, we've got the CSV analyst.
Okay.
This persona is a data whiz. It can, dive into those spreadsheets, extract key information, calculate amounts,
Yeah.
and even uncover hidden insights that we might have missed.
So no more staring at spreadsheets until my eyes cross.
Yeah.
I like the sound of that.
Exactly.
Tell me more about these AI specialists.
All right. Well, for anyone who spends hours doing research, meet the researcher persona. This one goes way beyond like a simple search engine. Think of it as a tireless research assistant that can scour the web, comprehend, complex details, and then synthesize all that information into a coherent, insightful report.
Now, that's what I call working smarter, not harder.
Yeah, exactly.
This is really blowing my mind. Is there anything this AI can't do?
Well, it can even code. The developer persona
Oh, wow.
specializes in building software, particularly in Python. It can actually help you architect and build complex applications.
Whoa, an AI that can code? That's a total game changer.
It is.
I'm really starting to see how Evo.Ninja could be like a real productivity powerhouse.
Yeah.
But how does it actually know which persona to use for a specific task?
Mm.
I mean, does it just like randomly choose?
Not at all. Evo.Ninja has this really clever execution loop that guides its decision-making process.
Yep.
It's a 4-step system that ensures it's always using the right expert for the job.
Okay, I'm liking this. Let's break down this execution loop. What's the first step?
So the first step is all about understanding the task at hand.
Okay.
Evo.Ninja analyzes the instructions and tries to predict the most effective course of action.
So it's like the AI is strategizing,
Right.
figuring out the best way to tackle the problem.
Exactly.
That makes a lot of sense.
Right.
So it's not just blindly jumping in. What happens next?
So based on its prediction, it then selects the most appropriate agent persona. It's kind of like a project manager, assigning the task to the team member with the most relevant expertise.
Okay, so it's analyzing the task, predicting the best approach, and then choosing the right specialist.
Right.
What happens in step 3?
Step 3 is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Evo.Ninja takes all the previous interactions, all the chat history, and puts it into context.
Okay.
It filters out anything that's not relevant to the current task,
Right.
making sure the chosen persona has the most relevant information to work with.
So it's not just using the right tool, it's also using the right information.
Exactly.
That's pretty impressive.
And finally, there's an evaluation and execution phase.
Okay.
Here, Evo.Ninja double checks to make sure that the chosen action really aligns with your overall goal.
Right.
Once everything's in order, it executes the task using the selected persona.
So this loop is constantly running in the background, making sure that everything stays on track.
Right.
It almost sounds like you're watching a human solve a problem,
Yeah.
but at like lightning speed. This is all incredibly fascinating. But I got to ask,
Yeah.
how do I actually use Evo.Ninja? Am I going to need a computer science degree to get this thing up and running?
Not at all.
Okay.
You will need some basic technical knowledge like knowing what Node.js and Yarn are
So,
and having an OpenAI API key.
right.
But the developers have actually provided two main ways to interact with Evo.Ninja.
Okay.
One for the more technically inclined and then another that's more user-friendly.
Okay. I'm relieved to hear that.
Yeah.
So tell me about these two options. What's the more technical route?
Well, the first option is using the command line or CLI. It's a text-based interface where you can give Evo.Ninja instructions and options using specific commands.
Okay.
This is a great option for developers and people comfortable working with code.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
What about the more user-friendly option?
The second option is a graphical user interface, or UI.
Okay.
It's more visual and intuitive, requiring a lot less technical expertise.
Okay.
Setting it up does involve a Supabase database,
Okay.
which is essentially an online database service that lets you easily store and manage your data.
So regardless of your technical skills,
Yeah.
there's a way to interact with Evo.Ninja.
Yeah.
But where does all the actual work happen? Does it have like its own virtual workspace or something?
It does. Evo.Ninja creates what's called a session workspace.
Okay.
It's a dedicated folder where it stores files, logs, and everything related to a particular task.
Huh.
Think of it as its own little digital office.
That's a great way to visualize it.
Yeah.
So you give Evo.Ninja a task, it sets up its little workspace, and then it gets to work.
Right.
But let's talk real-world applications. Who would actually benefit from using Evo.Ninja?
Well, businesses could be huge beneficiaries.
Okay.
Imagine automating tasks like data analysis, report generation, research, even parts of software development.
Right.
It could free up employees to focus on, more strategic initiatives.
Yeah, that would be a major productivity boost.
Right.
But it sounds like it could be useful for more than just businesses, right?
Absolutely. Researchers, for example, could use Evo.Ninja to really accelerate their work.
Okay.
Imagine being able to quickly gather and synthesize information from tons of sources, freeing up time to focus on analysis and interpretation.
And what about for individuals? Could Evo.Ninja be helpful in our everyday lives?
Yeah, think of it as your ultimate personal assistant, helping you organize tasks, research information, manage your workload more efficiently.
Wow.
It's like having a super-powered sidekick to help you navigate, the complexities of modern life.
This is all incredibly exciting. But AI is a field that's constantly evolving.
Right.
What does the future hold for projects like Evo.Ninja?
Well, I think we'll see even more specialized personas expanding the range of tasks Evo.Ninja can handle.
Okay.
Imagine personas for specific industries like finance or healthcare, or even for creative fields like music composition or design.
So it will just keep getting smarter and more versatile.
Exactly. And as AI models continue to improve, we'll likely see even greater accuracy and efficiency.
Wow.
Imagine Evo.Ninja becoming so adept at understanding complex tasks that it becomes an indispensable partner in problem solving and innovation.
That's incredible. What else do you see on the horizon for Evo.Ninja?
Well, I think seamless integration with other tools and platforms is key.
Okay.
Imagine Evo.Ninja connecting with your email calendar, project management software, creating a truly interconnected workflow.
It'd be like having like a central AI hub
Right.
that manages and optimizes all your digital tasks.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
It would be.
But what really excites me about Evo.Ninja is that it's open source.
Right. That's a crucial point. Open source projects like this democratize access to powerful AI tools.
Yeah.
It's not just for big tech companies. It's for everyone, from individual developers to small startups.
It's like putting cutting-edge AI into the hands of anyone with a good idea.
Exactly.
That's truly empowering.
Yeah, it is.
This has been an amazing deep dive into Evo.Ninja. But before we move on,
Yeah.
what stands out to you as the most exciting aspect of this project?
For me, it's the potential for truly personalized AI as Evo. Ninja learns your preferences and work habits.
Right.
It can adapt to become an even more valuable assistant tailored specifically to your needs.
It's like having an AI that truly understands you and can anticipate your needs. That's amazing.
It is.
Okay, I think we've covered a lot of ground here.
Yeah, we have.
From understanding how Evo.Ninja works to exploring its potential impact on various fields.
It's clear that Evo.Ninja represents a significant step forward
Yeah.
in the development of accessible and versatile AI. It's an exciting time to be following these advancements.
Absolutely. But before we wrap up this part of our deep dive,
Yeah.
I want to leave our listeners with a question to ponder.
All right.
As we continue to explore the possibilities of AI, it's important to consider the ethical implications.
Absolutely.
How do we ensure that AI is developed and used responsibly?
Hmm.
What role do we as individuals and as a society play in shaping the future of AI?
That's a crucial question, and one that deserves careful consideration as we move forward in this rapidly evolving landscape.
We'll be diving deeper into those questions and more as we continue our exploration of Evo.Ninja in the next part of our deep dive.
Sounds good.
All right.
It's like Evo Ninja has taken a page right out of our playbook.
Yeah.
We assess the situation, figure out the best approach, and then delegate to specialists.
Yeah, but Evo.Ninja is doing it with the speed and efficiency of like
Right.
a super-powered AI brain.
Exactly.
It really makes you wonder, what could this mean for the future of work? Are we talking about a future where AI is less of a tool and more of a colleague?
That's definitely a possibility. Imagine brainstorming sessions. Yeah.
Where AI is contributing creative solutions or, helping make strategic decisions.
Like mind-blowing.
Yeah.
And with projects like Evo.Ninja leading the way, the possibilities just seem limitless. I mean, we've seen what the synthesizer, the CSV analyst, the researcher, and the developer can do.
Right.
But what if Evo.Ninja had even more specialized personas?
Now you're thinking, imagine a persona specifically for financial modeling.
Okay.
Or navigating legal complexities.
Right.
Or maybe one that analyzes marketing trends or even composes music.
It's like Evo.Ninja could become this incredible multi-tool of AI, constantly evolving to handle new challenges and meet the growing demands of its users.
It really could. And as AI models continue to advance, those personas could become even more specialized and powerful.
Yeah. I mean, we might even see personas that can grasp human emotions.
Right.
Leading to much more personalized and intuitive interactions.
Exactly.
But, stepping back for a moment, I think we focused a lot on the potential upsides.
Right. Are there any potential downsides or challenges that we should be thinking about as AI, becomes more prevalent?
That's a vital question. Like any powerful tool, AI needs to be used thoughtfully.
Right.
If it's not designed and implemented with care, there could be unintended consequences.
So what does responsible AI development look like in practice?
Well, for one thing, it's crucial to make sure that AI systems are fair and unbiased.
Okay.
The data used to train AI models, it needs to be carefully chosen to avoid perpetuating existing societal biases.
That makes sense. I mean, we've seen examples of AI systems that reflect existing biases, which can lead to unfair outcomes.
Exactly.
It's critical to address that head on.
Absolutely. AI should be a tool for positive change, not a reflection of existing inequalities.
Right. Another key aspect is privacy.
Oh, for sure.
AI systems often collect and analyze vast amounts of data.
Right.
So protecting individual privacy is paramount.
It's a huge responsibility.
So transparency and accountability are really key when it comes to AI development. People should have a clear understanding of how AI is being used and what data is being collected.
Absolutely. It's a balancing act. We need to embrace the transformative potential of AI while also putting in place safeguards to mitigate, any potential negative impact.
Like walking a tightrope.
It is.
But it's a tightrope we need to walk if we want to harness the full power of AI for good.
I agree. And that's where the open source nature of projects like Evo.Ninja really shines.
Okay.
Having the code publicly available means greater transparency and collaboration.
So it allows developers and researchers from all over the world to contribute.
Right.
Identify potential issues and offer solutions.
Exactly. It's like a global team working together to make sure AI is developed and used responsibly.
And speaking of getting involved, for those listeners out there who are ready to kind of dive into Evo.Ninja, what tips or resources would you recommend?
Well, the GitHub repository is a fantastic starting point. It's packed with detailed documentation, installation instructions, and even practical examples of how to use Evo.Ninja for a variety of tasks. It's essentially a one-stop shop for getting started.
So even someone who isn't a coding whiz can get Evo.Ninja up and running.
Oh, absolutely. The developers have also built a very active community on Discord.
Oh, cool.
It's a great place to connect with other Evo.Ninja enthusiasts, share ideas, ask questions, and get support.
It's more than just the technology, then. It's a community.
It is.
Coming together around a shared interest in AI.
Exactly. And there are tons of other resources available online, from YouTube tutorials to blog posts that offer, step-by-step guidance on setting up and using Evo.Ninja.
It sounds like there's something for everyone, regardless of your technical level or learning style. But let's not forget about the OpenAI API key.
Ah, yes. That is crucial for Evo.Ninja to actually function.
Okay.
It allows the AI to access and use the powerful language models developed by OpenAI.
So without the API key, Evo.Ninja is essentially just a bunch of code.
Yeah, it's the key that unlocks its real power.
Right. But the good news is OpenAI offers a free tier.
They do.
So you can start experimenting with Evo.Ninja without spending any money.
Exactly.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
It makes this cutting-edge AI technology accessible to so many more people.
It does.
But being realistic, Evo.Ninja is still a relatively young project.
Right.
Are there any limitations or things users should be aware of?
Of course.
Yeah.
Like any software project, it's still under development.
Right.
So there might be occasional bugs or, limitations in functionality.
It's not quite perfect yet.
Yeah,
Which is understandable with any new technology.
exactly. But the developers are very transparent about these limitations
Okay.
and are constantly working to improve the software.
So it's reassuring to know that they're actively working on making it better.
They are. And the open source model really helps with that.
Yeah,
With so many eyes on the code, improvements can happen much faster.
absolutely. It's a very dynamic, collaborative process.
Yeah.
We've talked about the command line interface and the user-friendly interface.
Right.
Are there any other ways people might be able to interact with Evo.Ninja in the future?
Well, the developers are exploring integrations with other platforms and services.
Oh, cool.
Just imagine being able to talk to Evo.Ninja through a voice assistant like Alexa or Google Assistant.
So you could be like cooking dinner and ask Evo.Ninja to pull up a recipe.
Yeah.
Or add something to your shopping list.
Or picture integrating it with messaging apps like Slack.
Okay.
You can be, chatting with colleagues and then seamlessly bring Evo.Ninja into the conversation to help with a task.
That would be so useful.
Yeah.
Evo.Ninja becomes more popular.
Yeah.
I bet we'll see even more creative integrations like that.
Oh, for sure. The possibilities are really exciting. It points to a future where AI is just seamlessly woven into our lives, making us more productive, creative, and informed.
But with all this talk about seamless integration and, AI becoming more and more embedded in our lives, it raises kind of a question for me. Where's the line between helpful AI and AI that starts to feel intrusive or controlling?
That's a very important consideration.
Yeah.
And it goes back to, those core principles of responsible AI development.
Right.
The goal is to create AI that empowers, not overpowers.
So it's about striking the right balance.
It is.
Having AI handle tasks, but without taking over completely.
Exactly. Think of it like a self-driving car.
Okay.
It can handle the navigation,
Right.
but you can always take the wheel if needed.
So it's about having the right safeguards in place.
Right.
Both from a technical perspective and from a societal one. We need to make sure that AI is designed with human values in mind.
Yes.
And that we have clear guidelines and regulations for its use.
Mm-hmm.
And, those conversations need to be happening now,
Absolutely.
not after these technologies become fully integrated into our lives.
I agree. You're absolutely right. We have a responsibility to shape the development of AI in a way that benefits humanity as a whole.
And those are conversations that need to happen at all levels,
Right.
from individual users to policymakers and industry leaders.
It's a collective effort. We all have a role to play in ensuring that AI is used ethically and responsibly. And that's where open source projects like Evo.Ninja offer a model for how things could be done.
Okay.
Transparency, collaboration, and a focus on user empowerment are essential.
So it's about creating a future where AI enhances our capabilities,
Yes.
not diminishes our autonomy.
It's about working with AI,
Right.
not being controlled by it.
And that's a future I can definitely get behind.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground again,
We have.
from delving deeper into Evo.Ninja's potential to examining these ethical considerations.
Yeah.
It's clear that AI is more than just lines of code.
Right.
It's a force that has the potential to really reshape our world in profound ways.
It's a powerful reminder that we're at a pivotal moment in history.
Yeah.
The choices we make today will determine the course of AI development for years to come.
So before we wrap up this part of our deep dive.
I want to challenge our listeners with a thought experiment.
Okay.
Imagine a world where AI has become deeply integrated into every aspect of our lives.
Okay.
What does that world look like? Is it a utopia where tedious tasks are automated and human creativity flourishes?
Right.
Or is it a dystopia where we've ceded too much control to machines?
It's a question worth pondering.
Definitely.
As we navigate this uncharted territory, the future is not predetermined. It's a future that we are all shaping together.
Right.
Through our actions, our choices, and our collective imagination.
And as we continue our exploration of Evo.Ninja, in the next part of our deep dive, we'll be delving even deeper into those questions.
Right.
And considering what role we all can play in shaping the future of AI, it's incredible to think about AI taking care of all these tasks. But it also makes me wonder, How much control do we really have over these AI systems? I mean, are we just setting them loose and hoping for the best?
That's a great question. And it gets to the heart of responsible AI development. It's not about creating AI that takes over, but AI that empowers. We need to design systems that are transparent and controllable
Right.
and align with human values.
So it's not about surrendering control.
Yeah.
It's about finding that balance
Exactly.
between automation and human oversight.
Mhm.
We want AI to handle the tedious stuff, but we also need to be able to step in and make adjustments.
Right. Think of it like a self-driving car. You program the destination
Uh,
and let it do its thing,
right.
but you can always take over the wheel if you need to.
It's about having those safeguards in place, both on a technical level and on a societal level. We need to ensure AI is designed with human values at the forefront,
Yeah.
and that we have clear guidelines and regulations to guide its use.
Absolutely. And that's why projects like Evo.Ninja, with its open source approach and collaborative development model, are so important. They bring transparency and inclusivity to the table,
Right.
allowing a broader range of voices to contribute to the conversation about AI ethics and governance.
Like a global think tank, bringing together developers, researchers, policymakers, and everyday people to shape the future of AI in a way that benefits everyone.
And that's the key, ensuring that AI is a force for good. It's about using this powerful technology to tackle the challenges we face to improve our lives
Right.
and to create a more just and equitable world.
Absolutely. It's about AI augmenting our abilities, not replacing us entirely. It's about forging a future where humans and AI can work together in harmony, each contributing their unique strengths to the greater good.
Yeah.
But how do we actually get there? How do we move from this exciting potential to a reality where AI is truly a force for good?
Well, a big part of it is continuing to have these conversations, raising awareness about the ethical implications of AI and pushing for responsible development practices. We need to ensure that AI is aligned with our values and that we are actively shaping its trajectory, not just passively observing its evolution.
Well, it's about being proactive, not reactive.
Exactly.
It's about recognizing that the future of AI is not predetermined, but something we are actively creating through the choices we make today.
And it's not just about the technology itself. It's about how we choose to integrate it into our lives and our societies. We need to be thoughtful about the implications, both positive and potential negative, and work to mitigate any risks while maximizing the benefits.
It's a complex challenge, but one that we can't afford to ignore. I mean, we've seen throughout history how quickly technology can outpace our ethical considerations.
Right.
We need to be having these conversations now while we still have the opportunity to shape the future of AI in a way that aligns with our values.
I completely agree. We need to approach AI development with both optimism and caution, with a sense of wonder and a commitment to responsible innovation.
And that brings us to the most crucial aspect of this whole conversation, the future. It's impossible to predict exactly what lies ahead. But one thing is, certain AI is going to play an increasingly significant role in our lives. It's not science fiction anymore. It's our reality.
We're standing at the precipice of a new era, an era defined by rapid technological advancement and societal transformation. And it's up to us to navigate this new landscape thoughtfully and intentionally.
It's an era brimming with both extraordinary promise and potential pitfalls. It demands our attention, our creativity, and our collective wisdom. And as we've seen with Evo.Ninja, it also demands our active participation.
Exactly. We can't just sit back and be passive observers. We need to be engaged, informed, and involved in shaping the future of AI. We need to advocate for ethical development, demand transparency from the companies creating these technologies, and educate ourselves about the potential impact of AI on our lives.
It's about reclaiming our agency in a world that is becoming increasingly shaped by algorithms and artificial intelligence. It's about ensuring that AI serves humanity, not the other way around.
It's about creating a future where technology enhances our lives, expands our capabilities, and helps us solve some of the most pressing challenges facing our world.
Well said.
Huh?
We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive into Evo.Ninja and the broader implications of AI. But as we've seen, this is just the beginning of the conversation.
It's an ongoing exploration, a journey of discovery and learning as we navigate this rapidly evolving technological landscape.
And for our listeners who are feeling inspired to learn more or even contribute to this exciting field, I encourage you to check out the resources we've mentioned, dive into the Evo.Ninja project, and join the conversation about the future of AI.
Because the future is not something that simply happens to us. It's something we create together through our actions, our choices, and our shared commitment to shaping a future where AI empowers humanity to thrive.
On that note, until next time. Stay curious, stay informed, and stay engaged.
And remember, the future is in our hands.